Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is gonna be a what's on my iPad video, and so I'm gonna be showing you guys my favorite apps and how I use it for school, note-taking, etc., and how I'm a paperless student. So let's just go ahead with this video. The iPad is face detective, so I do have to just swipe up. And so I know this sounds really like dumb, but I actually used to do this one hack where you move all of the apps over on the next page so that you can have an empty page right here. So I just really like to do that because I like seeing my wallpaper, and even when it's locked, sometimes you still can't see it because of the time. So this is what I like to do to my iPad and even my iPhone itself. So I like to have just like the first page be empty. So right here I just have some of the basic apps, and so the calendar, clock, photos, camera, FaceTime and stuff, and this folder right here is the rest of the things that you come with. And so the one weird thing about the iPad is that it actually doesn't come with its own calculator app, so I actually had to download one. So this is the one I have, and you can swipe it to have all of these extra equations as well. And then the next folder right here is actually my social media folder, so obviously Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, YouTube, and then my watching apps, Crunchyroll, and then Snapchat. And so Webtoon right here, this is an app where I like to read my webtoons. And so the one thing I don't like about reading webtoon on my iPad versus my iPhone right here is that the histories are they're like not linked. Like if I were to go to my webtoon app right here and go to my recents, they are completely different from what I've read. Like, I do understand that, you know, apps are really hard to configure and whatnot, but most of the time I do read webtoon on my phone just because it's more accessible. I usually read it whenever I'm going to school, and so I don't really read it too much on my iPad right here, but it's nice just to have. And so then I have YouTube Studio, which is just an app for YouTube creators to view the analytics of their videos right here. And so then I have Twitch and Disney Plus, which are just other things I watch. And then the next app right here is actually my school apps, and as you can see, I don't like to name them actual names. I've just put like emoticons. And so right here, this is Student Canvas, and this is what my university uses. And so this will list all of your classes and it'll show your grades. And so for me, I use this often to find PowerPoints or slideshows that they will assign us. So this is just my basic starting one for the U of M. And then of course I have Google Drive, which is really important to write essays. The one thing I don't like about Google Chrome, just like extensions, is that if you want to look at the spreadsheets, you do need to have another app for that. So right here you need Google Sheets. So to actually even access that, you need to have the app itself. So these were my scholarships that I was tracking, and so I was just graphing it right here. And then Google Slides is whenever I used it for PowerPoints, I needed it to do a presentation. So I really don't need this that much anymore. For one semester, my Japanese teacher, he used Google Slides, so sometimes I did save them, which is nice to do. So then the next app we have is Quizlet, and this is a digital note card app, and so you can look up other people's note cards if they have saved it. And so it is really nice for that to have the option, and you can just make your own. As you can see, I've only made a couple of them, but eventually I stopped because I realized that it was just too much work to be writing it down on here and just like writing it in the kanji with the keyboard. So I just eventually stopped doing this, but I just studied all the time and just wrote it down on my Procreate. So this one I don't really use often, but that is a good option for you guys. And then I have Google Translate and Papago, which are both translating apps. So one thing I do like about the Google Translate a lot more is that it does have handwriting. So as you can see, I actually have really bad handwriting right now at this angle, but it can recognize that I wrote ski right here, and so I do like that. Papago is more reliable and just a lot more natural whenever you translate something. And then Dropbox right here, I don't really use this for school, but I use this for my Procreate brushes. Whenever I download something, I have to drop it to my Dropbox, then download it and import it to my Procreate, so I use it for that. And then GroupMe is actually an app. It's a way to talk to your classmates without getting their phone number, their Facebook, their Instagram. And as you can see, I've literally only used it one time, and this was back in 2019. I've only used it once, and so I'm actually going to be deleting it because I just don't need it at all. And then Transit is actually a bus app that I use because I commute using the buses, and so having this is really helpful. So Libby is just an online digital rental book, which I use for my library. Maybe your library uses something else, but my public one uses this one. And so as you can see, I was just reading one book right here. And so the next up is actually just like miscellaneous shopping, so AliExpress, Target, PayPal, Connexus. This is my bank. So next up are apps that I use for photo editing and just like games: Image Size, Lightroom, jar photoing apps, and then LifeFX for my smart LED light. And then these apps are out because I use them so frequent. And so planner right here, this is the digital planner that I have come to like. I've tried so many different apps. I've come to terms after so many trial and errors. The reason why I never liked a digital planner was because I had to input the task. Like, you actually have to type it, and typing on an iPad is really annoying because it's just so big. And so this one, you can actually write it down, and that's why I was able to actually keep up with this one. So you can also draw. So I started in this month, and as you can see, I was pretty active here, and then I just kind of stopped. But then right here I'm picking it up, and then next month I even have it planned out, and then I even have it right here as well. I actually am really happy that I don't have any school on Fridays, and that's only because I don't have Japanese this semester, but I will in the spring. And then for Pinterest, of course, is for references and for nails, decor, whatever I want to put on my board. And so then I have Procreate, which if you guys have not seen how I take my iPad notes, then I will leave it right here as well, once again. And so right here I have drawings that I have used, and so I haven't shown you guys this, but this is an update. I've drawn a lot more since then. And so I have so much more art pieces and a lot of sketches as well. And so I think this pretty much sums it up. Yep. And then for note taking, I do have a separate folder for Japanese, so I have like updated this, so I've done more and I've done it differently as well. Like, this one is really pretty, and so is this one. I really like this one. I worked a lot on this one. And then I even use Procreate for my YouTube thumbnails as well, and it's just so versatile for that. And as you can see, it's always nice just to have multiple versions, because you always want to try different thumbnails, not just like stick to just one. So as you can see, I have a lot going on. I have used Procreate for my other classes as well, like 3D modeling. We had to sketch a couple times, and even for my lecture-based classes, I did have to take some notes. So then I took some notes right here as well. And so I just really like it, that it's really like cohesive and everything looks great. So that's pretty. So then I have tomato timer right here, and this is a new studying method that I started to do, which you guys might be aware of, but it's the Pomodoro method, I believe. And it's 25 minutes of studying, 5 minutes break, and then 25 minutes of studying again. And because you're doing a shorter amount of time of studying, it feels like you can get things done a lot faster and there's less distraction. And honestly, I can 100% agree with this. I really like this method of studying, and I like tomato timer because you can change the colors of it, and so it's really nice to do and really easy. So you just press it when you want to start, and it will start to decrease every time, and then it'll send you a notification as well when you take your break and when to go back. So the next up I have is books right here, and I really like using this one a lot because I've downloaded the PDF files of my textbooks. So I do have the first one and the second one right here, and then I even downloaded some PowerPoints and slideshows, I guess, from my teachers, so I can just like see them, and so it's really nice to have, and so you can see all of them. So I know it's a little counterintuitive, but when I actually go to class, I actually bring both. So I am fortunate enough to have the textbook version, and that's because my sisters actually studied Japanese before me, so I'm actually just using theirs. And so I'll actually bring both of them to my classroom, because it's annoying on digitally to keep going back and forth when you are trying to find the correct vocab for it. So I actually like to open up to the right page and just flip through here. So I'll use this one for the actual worksheet or the practice that we're doing, and I'll have this one to look up the vocabs right here. So I'll be like on this page. So on the textbook, I'll be on this page with the vocabs for this chapter of the week, and then I'll have the iPad with the practice that we're doing. And that's how I like to study, like actual in-class person. So I am only using this because my sister does have it. If not, I would just, once again, just completely use this. So that was it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed what's on my iPad video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.